Well, that's more like it. What's up? What's happening? What's going on? Welcome back to Animation, Sister for anything and everything animation, and welcome to an actual animation review this time. And this time for our first great film of 2024. Let's talk about DreamWorks Animations and Netflix's Orion and the Dark. Wow, dude. I went into this with middling expectations, and I came out the other side surprised. This is a fantastic film for kids and adults that I can easily recommend you go and see. Well, you don't have to really go anywhere, you just need a Netflix account, but Orion in the Dark is a surprisingly deep, mature, complex, engaging, emotional, and all around just amazing film. Like, I'm legit surprised how great this movie turned out to be. But that goes to show you that Netflix, man, they come out with bangers every once in a while. Like, I'm legit surprised and also very happy this movie turned out as great as it did. I have a pretty long review for this one, so strap yourselves in. I promise you there will be no spoilers, but I do have a lot to say. So let's go straight into my written review, and I can only hope that you guys enjoy and check this movie out for yourself. It is great. From one movie with a stacked cast to another, but this time for a different audience, and the first offering this year from DreamWorks Animation, and this time it's not a painfully average snorefest. I gotta say that this was a very welcome surprise. It seemed like DreamWorks was on a downward spiral again after the release of the abysmal Trolls 3, a movie so bad that I refused to review it, and that horrible announcement of the Cash-In Megamind sequel that's more of a pilot for a Cash-In TV show on Peacock, and both look like they are going to suck. But thankfully this, and hopefully Kung Fu Panda 4, please don't screw it up, DreamWorks. Show that this company has not completely lost their way quite yet, and are still capable of making great films when they actually decide to try. Written by Charlie Kaufman, the same guy who wrote Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, which I sadly have not seen yet, the movie tells the story of Orion, voiced by Jacob Tremblay, and how he's afraid of literally everything, especially the darkness, due to his overly active imagination, and of the otherworldly adventure he's taken through by Dark himself, voiced by Paul Walter Hauser, to help him see that it's not as bad as he thinks. Not being familiar with Kaufman's past work, this is literally my first time watching a Kaufman movie. I went into this with middling expectations, not to mention it's DreamWorks, and not to mention after Trolls 3, woof, I wanted to be done with DreamWorks after that. And I'm delighted to report that this is not only a great movie for kids, but also surprisingly for adults, too. I was legitimately surprised how mature and complex it turned out to be. The voice acting is amazing, especially from Paul as Dark, and Angela Bassett, yes, that Angela Bassett, as Dreams. The animation was gorgeous with a unique art style and tons of personality, though it does take some inspiration from stuff like Mutant Mayhem, Mitchells vs. the Machines, and Spider-Verse with that kind of storybook feel. Oh, and Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, almost forgot. With a unique art style and tons of personality, the story was very strong and surprisingly deep, especially for a movie aimed primarily at kids, which surprised me. The designs of the characters are incredibly creative and perfectly embody the movie's theme and overall style. The pacing was mostly excellent and gave the perfect amount of time to each scene for it to fully develop and not feel rushed. The characters are complex and quirky, and none of them are flat. The humor, while not as prevalent as most of these kind of movies usually are, is still surprisingly good and provide levity when needed. Like, I was surprised how little comedy there is in this movie. It's more of a straightforward storytelling experience, with some comedy here and there to try and get some levity during the really dark or mature moments. And that's the way that it's supposed to be. This is a movie that wanted to tell a story, and it wanted to teach a deeper message to kids. But it knew it had to throw in some humor here and there. And sure, a few jokes here and there can be a bit hit or miss, but the humor is surprisingly mature. Like, there's not any, like, low-hanging fruit crap, which is nice to see, especially from DreamWorks, who have overused those jokes to death. Where else? Sorry, I went off and I forgot where I was. The messages of fear and how to overcome it are effective and downright groundbreaking for a movie aimed at a younger audience. The emotional moments were superb and executed excellently. One of them even, yes, got me a little teary-eyed. The storytelling was wonderful and very ambitious, and the rewatchability is going to be pretty high. However, it unfortunately has one huge flaw. The third act. Yikes, this third act. It is a contrived, confusing, pace-breaking, rushed-out, and downright lazy cop-out ending, third act, that ruins what was built up so well all throughout the rest of the movie and leads to an ending that's somehow even more confusing and even more contrived. And not to mention, this ending is not given a single explanation within the movie. You have to literally go to, like, other sites or other videos to actually figure out what the frick the ending even was. Like, really? Sure, it's not like Migration, where it almost where it pretty much ruined the entire movie. Go see my Migration review if you want more details on that. That was my last review of 2023. But it's still pretty jarring, and instead of leaving me thinking existentially about these deeper themes it's trying to tell, like it clearly wanted me to do, instead it just left me with severe whiplash, and making me think I was watching a completely different movie. Yeah, the third act really is that bad. It's difficult to really articulate it without going into spoilers, but you'll understand what I'm saying when you see this for yourself. Then I also have two other little minor gripes that don't really harm the experience, but are still a bit noteworthy and need to be discussed. The music, while sounding absolutely beautiful, was just okay. The music in this movie is not all that good. Like, it sounds pretty, it sounds nice, but it just sounds like every other animated movie out there. It doesn't have any, like, unique personality or unique flair to it. Like, it sounds beautiful, it works for the movie, but there's a reason why it's background in this movie and not really at the forefront, because it's just not that good, unfortunately. And some of the writing at times is pretty hit or miss. Like, it gets a little bit too ambitious with its existentialism, and a few times I was left scratching my head, which I'm sure it was probably supposed to do that, because this is apparently a writer that specializes in being existentialist, if that's the word I'm looking for. But it was still just weird to me. Like I said, I haven't experienced any other Kaufman movies before, so this is my first time, so a few times the writing, I was just like, what are you doing? What's going on here? Overall, though, this is a very strong start for DreamWorks this year. Yes, the third act is a complete mess, but outside of that, I absolutely love this movie and give it so much extra appreciation for trying to help teach kids about fear and how they can overcome it in a way that's universal. Like, it's not catering to kids, it's not talking down to kids, it's trying to be realistic and mature, which, especially considering how animated movies nowadays are, that is really admirable. With great storytelling, deep messages, beautiful animation, fantastic performances, and an even more fantastic pace until the third act. Orion in the Dark is an excellent animated movie that everyone should go and see for themselves. Final verdict is a high 9 out of 10. If you have not seen this movie yet, you need to. It is worth the search. It is worth your time. And even though it is going to cost you a Netflix subscription, trust me, it is so worth it. It is a fantastic movie that kids are going to love. It's a fantastic movie that I think most adults are going to appreciate. And it's a movie that, probably while not among like the greatest ever of DreamWorks, it's still just a fantastic movie, an absolute gem that all of you need to see. And I'm so glad that I finally got to watch it today. So, yeah, that's pretty much all my thoughts on Orion in the Dark. It's a fantastic film. Go see it. In whatever way you need to, go see it. It is a fantastic movie that is great for kids and also great for adults too. So, yeah, I don't really know what else to say. Go see it, go see it, go see it. Screw Argyle, go watch this. It is far more worth your time. And that's all I've got. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more videos like this almost every single day. And stay tuned because we still have a few more reviews to go because we're still playing catch up. So, I'll see you guys next time when we take a look at the other animated movie that came out recently that I have yet to review or watch. That's from another streaming service that you may or may not have heard of. See you next time for Paramount Plus's The Tiger's Apprentice.